AM 560, The Answer.
Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press.
You know, for a minute, Squirrel, I thought it was Peter Strzok's girlfriend, the one who could eat an apple through a fence with the horse teeth. But it wasn't. It was the now executive out of Microsoft.
Now, an interesting story at the intersection of business and politics. On Friday, President Trump urged Microsoft to fire Lisa Monaco, an executive who served as Deputy Attorney General during the Biden administration. She joined Microsoft in July as President of Global Affairs. The president called her a, quote, menace to U.S. national security, especially given the major contracts that Microsoft has with the.
Boy, that's something, huh? You were a loyalist that helped secure an election theft. You bragged about running a shadow government from inside the FBI. Not to be confused with Peter, how did I get lucky Strzok, and his whore mistress at the office.
And we're getting new details tonight on 10,000 text messages between FBI agent Peter Strzok, who was taken off the Mueller investigation, and Strzok's alleged mistress, an FBI lawyer named Lisa Page. Kristen Fisher is here following the late-breaking developments as we got these tonight, pouring through and finding out exactly what these two were talking about.
Yeah, Shannon, Fox News has just obtained those 10,000 text messages that you were talking about between Strzok and Page, and this is a big deal because these are the anti-Trump text messages that led special counsel Robert Mueller to remove Strzok from the Russia investigation, though he's since been relocated within the FBI.
No, that was 2016 when they covered up for the Clinton Foundation a bribery scheme set up to not just steal money from Haiti, which they did, to be used as a vestibule of corruption. Well, the Duchess of Chafington and Huma, they were just friends. They were doing the scissors just a couple times. While they were making decisions about foreign affairs, bribery through the Clinton Foundation. That's why that was set up. And Microsoft kept getting contracts and contracts and contracts.
U.S. government. He said the U.S. recently stripped her of all security clearances and banned her from all federal properties. CNBC has reached out to Microsoft about that story.
Just how many former Democrat assets of the Barack Obama and the Biden administration worked for Microsoft, Squirrel? You might ask yourself. I think you'd be shocked.
Story on Friday, they declined to comment, but another example of a situation where you have the president trying to reach in to some degree into the world of business and influence, who they're hiring, who they're.
As opposed to the corporatism out loud, as opposed to the fraud that has been ignored since 2016, that we have the evidence. The Democrat mafia bribed media companies to report their agenda and to not report their treason.
And we just found out the Biden administration was paying the press. During the last 4 years, Politico received $26 million from the federal government. $8 million just last year. The Biden administration was paying a D.C. insider publication that happened to never report anything bad about the Biden administration. Well, what did they pay for besides good press? The government says it was for subscriptions to Politico Pro. Well, what's Politico Pro?
It's like the Clinton Foundation. It was set up for bribes.
Supposed to give you inside scoops or exclusive reporting about the federal government. It's been around since 2010, but all of a sudden in 2021, the Biden administration starts buying hundreds of Politico Pro subscriptions. And a subscription runs anywhere from $10,000 to $75,000 a year. Those are like top tier country club dues.
So in this seditious conspiracy, indictments, make sure Politico is added to the defendants. Make sure. Because this has been going on for quite a while. And to pretend that there's a new threat of this socialist, there is no such thing other than socialists. And none of what exists is constitutional. And none of it can continue unless we do nothing. Socialism is unconstitutional. You are not enslaved to degenerates and scumbags and frauds and thieves and teachers in Chicago that are good for nothing. Doctors that are good for nothing. Lawyers that are good for nothing. You're not enslaved to Democrats, which is why the only way they can exist is to pretend they have a political philosophy rather than what they need. Us to pay off the debt on the money they stole. 312-642-5600.
This is the Sean Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.